YouTube. Huh? Did you guys notice how they are talking about war with Russia and how in several countries, the UK, the Netherlands, Sweden, Finland, Poland of course, Germany, they are all talking about the war with Russia. And in Sweden people got alarmed by it. And then they say, no, not immediate. Please stay calm, don't panic now, when we will lose control. No, this war won't be immediate. But in 1, 2, max 3 years, we promise you, because that's basically what they do, guaranteeing you that this will happen, max 3 years from now. That's like a promise, right? I promise you, then you will have that war with Russia. And at the same time, you claim that Russia is not interested in a hot war with NATO, which I totally agree upon, because Mr. Putin, Mr. Lavrov, Medvedev, all those guys, they tried their hardest for the last, 10 years, but at least since 2014, they tried their hardest to avoid a hot war. But it is very clear, it is our side who wants a hot war. It's our side who prepares for it, who now tells you to stockpile for 3 days. For 3 days batteries and food. 3 days, really. Netherlands. Fuck off, man. So, there will be talk of wars and rumors of wars. Yeah, some prophecies you don't need a prophet to foresee what is coming down the road. Let's be honest. Huh? Just sheer human logic will do. 1 + 1 =. So, hot war with Russia. Huh? That's what they are preparing you for. Okay. That means we are in a period of a threat of war. Would you agree? That's what they consider. They say there is a chance that max in 3 years we will be at war with the Russians. Therefore we need to increase our weapons manufacturing. We need to increase our numbers in soldiers. We need to increase etc. Blah 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 blah. Does that not sound like a wartime economy to you? Huh? Or a future wartime economy, if you like. It does to me. And the very interesting fact I keep saying to people, in the Lisbon Treaty, according to the constitutional law professor emeritus Schachtschneider, in an interview of 2009, he warned us European people, but the Germans especially, about some rather disturbing elements in that Treaty of Lisbon, in which the EU, you know, this non-elected so-called government of yours in Brussels, in case of a uprising or revolt, Long and behold, look what's going on in Europe. Farmers protest everywhere. In case of a revolt or a uprising, in case of a war, or in case of threat of a war, they have already written in that nice Treaty of Lisbon to have very, very extensive powers, including declaring martial law, including even giving people the death sentence. You don't believe me? I know. It's after all the EU we abandoned the death penalty, correct? Wait and see in a war. Wait and see in a war. Time, threat of war, martial law. Tusk is already designating people like me who speak out firmly against NATO and the EU. Not so much per se in favor of the Russians in this conflict, but rather holding our own home front to account. Tusk already designated people like me to be traitors in his recent statement about everyone who does not support the Ukraine is a traitor, and so on and so on. Everyone includes nobody's like me as well, nobody's like you as well. And we already see in Germany this registration of people, their social media posts and reactions from the German government. Oh, this is illegal, for this you will be punished, you cannot say something positive about the Russians. Even journalists have to flee. So, yeah. You see the signs, and now they are talking about war with Russia. But don't panic, we don't have total control yet over you all. It will be in about 1 to max 3 years. So don't uprise now, please. Don't panic. Don't do anything right now. Just wait for your faith. Correct. So, are you scared yet? Do you really believe that the Russians would invade Europe? Would they even have the manpower? Because it was a conquest. That doesn't mean just attacking and leaving. It was a conquest. They want to expand that Tsarist Putin empire, correct? So, would they have the manpower to occupy, I don't know how many million Europeans who do not wish to be occupied? They do? Whoa! No, they don't, do they? That means that this is all BS. Russia will, however, for sure, just like you out there, or me, at some point stop with being, kind. Because we, the West, we keep mistakenly reading the signs of kindness. Yes, kindness, honor your agreements, etc. Being kind in general. being polite. Look how Putin talks about the aggressors who call him a killer, a dictator, an enemy, and he keeps calling them partners. Huh? Kind. To be polite, kind, reasonable human being. We, the West, we keep reading that sign of kindness as a weakness. And that is a huge, huge mistake. Never, ever take a sign of kindness as weakness. Never. That's not weak. That's being very, very strong. To keep a straight back during insults, to keep a straight back while unprovokedly attacked, and still, respect your own dignity, your own sovereignty, not going beyond borders that others try to push you. That's not weak. That is strong. You have to be strong to be kind. Really, to be that kind of kind. So, what are you gonna do? You're gonna ask your government, where are the bomb shelters? Because those 3 days of food won't cut it. Where are the bomb shelters, government? And are we already building those bomb shelters? After all, we still have max 3 years' time. Should we not invest then in the safety, food security of our nation, in keeping our population safe, etc., and healthy, and start to prepare already with our young people to get them away from porn and games and online activities into sports and so on and so on. Should we not prepare in that way? I don't know. Oh no, we should prepare by giving more money and more power to you guys to do whatever you want. Trust us. We know what we are doing. Correct? Yeah, right. This all will become eventually, of course, this European army in a very, very, very short time span. Or so it seems, but it has been in the making for a fucking long time. They even started long time ago with these Gladio actions to forcefully, violently force the European opinions in a certain direction with, yes, terror attacks. Look it up. Gladio. Now, some claim that Gladio stopped after it got exposed by the Belgians, if I remember correct. Because the Americans had to admit that CIA operatives had been doing violent attacks on civilians, mind you, and infrastructure in Belgium. To force a certain political thinking, a certain direction, to instill fear, to use fear as the method in steering your opinion into a certain direction. You do not need to worry about foreign terrorists or a foreign enemy, between brackets, like the Russians, yeah, or so they claim, it's the enemy, when you have to fear your own governments, and you have to fear them, because that Gladio network only became more sophisticated. It changed name, it is perhaps no longer named Gladio, but nonetheless the method only became more sophisticated due to technology, due to after the 9/11 attacks, this Patriot Act 1 and 2 and the EU and all NATO countries forced to follow that dictate, the totalitarian dictate, because that's the true Europe you live in. A Europe where Brussels and the powers to be in NATO will really not shy from committing terrorist attacks on its own population. You don't believe me? Well, how about Nord Stream 2? Ring a bell? And just like all the other Gladio actions in the past, long and behold, no one wants to investigate. And only decades after, we have to admit, shit, fuck you. Yes, it was us. But hey, no one cares then anymore, right? I don't know about you out there, but this, this kind of things we said never again, about fascism and stuff like that. In Europe, I don't do forget and forgive. If you do that, then it will be this happens again. So you should never forgive and forget. Really, never, ever. And always be vigilant. Always. Because as you can see with your own eyes, it will be this again. It's your duty. It's my duty. I keep saying it. I will keep saying it, especially to Germans. It's your fucking German duty to stop your German government, who is a puppet government for totally different interest than the German people. You have a God-given right to overthrow that government in Germany. You have a God-given right. Yes, you do not need Scholz or the USA its approval. Germany is still a occupied country, clearly. The Allied forces wrote its constitution. They broke up old regions and declared new regions. They were the ones who wrote the German school books about history, about everything. It had to be approved by the Allies. So you still think you are a free thinking German out there, when your whole education system, your constitution, your laws, your daily life was dictated for 8 decades by occupying forces, the very same forces who used terror against you. Nord Stream 2, Gladio. You see now where I'm going with this? So, it's forbidden by law. I am punishable by law for saying this. It's forbidden by law in the EU, in the Netherlands, in Germany, everywhere, to say that it's time for a revolution, that you want a revolution, that you want to overthrow a government. It's forbidden by law. However, in the Ukraine it was applauded, celebrated. So, and given all the aid they give to the Ukraine, that means that you, me, we Europeans are less than Ukrainians. They put us already on the second, third, fourth place in what they do with our money, our defense departments, our weapons, etc. So we are less than Ukrainians, correct? We are less than Ukrainians. Well, the Ukrainians clearly think that everyone is less than them. Let's be honest, correct? Correct. That's why this whole shit started in the first place. So, war, rumors of war. For what? This Ukraine, you think? No. These wars and rumors of wars is about the absolute control over you. And the Ukraine conflict is just a means to the end. Yes, it is. And those poor Ukrainian people who got tricked into a civil war about oh, Dmitry, I remember Ivanov, your grandpapa. He is Russian, right? Well, he was with the Bolsheviks. He killed my great-grandpapa. Who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck? Like really, who gives a fuck? They are gone, they are dead. They, from whatever side you look to it, they gave the ultimate sacrifice in an example how not to do it. Does that count too? That's why we said this never again. Really, if you think this is all about the Ukraine, if you think that this in Gaza, for example, is also haphazardly, just coincidentally happening, then you are very, very misguided. It's up to you out there, it's up to me to change this coming danger. It's not even coming danger, this danger. We are already in this danger. And the only way out is to be more determined in our demands, hardened in our demands. Yes, hardened. Who the fuck are you, Scholz? EU government in Brussels, not informing us about the real situation of Nord Stream 2, the biggest terror attack ever committed on the European people and the Germans in general, specific here in the first place. Who the fuck are you? How dare you? And how dare you out there, you nitwit, idiot, to attack people like me on social media for demanding that we take action. And then you attack me on Twitter. You attack my accounts 3 times, a Twitter account closed, reported on FB. You do not want to know how many times, 30-day bans. Huh? Because people don't like the truth. They cannot stand the truth. They rather attack than the messenger. In small, like this nitwit, nobody like me, as well in the big. Those who try to talk sense to the rest of those politicians, Oh, they get ostracized. They even get banned from casting votes. Think Orban. They get put on a death list. Think of Orban. And when you are disagreeing with the system, how it is run, you even get death threats before you visit on a diplomatic trip. Think Shilat is his name, if I pronounce correct, going to the Ukraine. Brave man. No? Fico, however you pronounce it. Brave man. So yes, it's up to you and me out there to support the farmers, but not just about the farmers issue. We need to get rid of these people about all of these issues. Can you not see that it's all connected? I said over 2 years ago, why the fuck are people not joining up? So here you are demonstrating against child trafficking. Oh, it's a few thousand people. The rest doesn't care or doesn't notice, I don't know. Then the next day you have someone else protesting about other injustice causes. Few thousand people, no one seemed to notice, no one seemed to care. But it's all connected. It's all connected. After all, it's the same people who are doing this bad shit to us. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. That's how you have to approach this. That's how we have to approach this. The enemy of the yellow vest is my enemy. The farmer's enemy. If you want to have a change, then I suggest, like I keep saying, you act fast and very determined. Yes, even to the point that you are determined to defend yourself with equal force. Listen carefully to what I say. With equal force, which means in the law you have the right to defend your body and your goods from any danger and harm. If I am unarmed and you as a police officer, like we saw in Canada for example with the truckers protest, trample over me with horses, and as we saw in Holland with the COVID protest, trampling over people, even smacking a 76-year-old man, crippled old man who tried to get away from the back with your stick, crushing his skull in the Netherlands. Very famous photo out there. Many memes about this. I serve and protect. While this guy on his horse, this Dutch policeman, is cracking that old man's skull from the back. While that old man tries to limp away. Not fast enough. You didn't outrun my horse. Fuck you all out there, you fucking cowards. Yes, you policemen, you fucking cowards. I said it many times in my videos. Dare to do it to a man like me, to people like me. Yes, I'm an old fuck now. Physically I didn't do shit for the last, I don't know, 10 years. Yeah. So, yeah, skinny. Who the fuck are you? Huh? I blow you over. But guess what? I will never forget your face. And I'm one of those bastards who would come after you the rest of his life. The rest of his life. On personal grounds. After all, you, policeman, had a choice to do this or not on your horse and smacking in that skull. If that had been my father, I said it many times and I keep saying it, if that had been my father, you would have been already gone from this earth. You would have been dead, because your face is clearly visible on that photograph. I would have found out who you were, where you live, find out about your habits, and take my fucking revenge. Without ever announcing it, I will just come after you. You would not even know it until it's too late. Is that fair? Is that justice? For fuck's sure, that's justice and fair. No? That's justice and fair. Why do I say this? Look how long we went after all those fascists, Nazis from the Second World War. After those low-level guys who, were guarding the gates of Auschwitz, for example. Was that justice? For fuck's sure that was justice. And we said this never again. And the only way you make sure this never again is by getting rid of people like that. Making sure they cannot spread their cancer. That's how you do it. That's how you make sure this never again. So yes, call me an extremist, call me whatever the fuck you want. I don't care. And I'm not scared. I'm not scared of the system. You are nothing. You are nothing. Yes, you can take me individually. Yes, you can punish me. But look at all the people in history who got taken in Soviet era and here in Romania, for example, and other places, so many places, who have been imprisoned and worse, treated by governments. In the end, where are those governments? Governments. Where are they? They're gone. They're gone. Past. History. Why? And that always gives a big smile on my face. Why? Because eventually, we, the people, always win. It's just a fucking matter of time. So, yeah. When are you really joining a resistance? When are you stopping to think that you need to wait on someone else to be the leader of that resistance? Why don't you stop following so-called leaders? Because after all, they can have their own agendas too and use the momentum of the masses to achieve what? Just think of Maidan coup. Ukraine. Other people hijack the sentiment of the people and steer it in a different direction after they take the power. So, who is the resistance? Who is that resistance leader? You wanna know? You. You. Me. Your brother, your sister, your father, your mother, your kids, your grandparents. We. So follow your own eyes, follow your own ears, and read between the lines. Remember those famous words. A revolution is when you find out yourself who is the real enemy instead of your government telling you who is. Have a nice day.